Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special treat for you today on the HammondCast show. I'm here in Hamburg, Germany, in the office of a great radio man here in NDR Radio, specifically NDR2 and Enjoy, the best in the North. And we're here with Henry Gross. How are you doing today, Henry?
I'm fine. How are you doing, John?
I feel great, and we're rested. We had a little concert last night, and I'm very happy to meet you. Thank you very much for having us and for coming on to our show. And so, for our listeners out there, we want to explain that NDR radio is run very differently than commercial radio in the United States. And you have many different departments, but your department is the part of NDR radio that gets into the music for the younger demographics. Is that right?
Yeah, we're talking about an audience that is starts with the kids and ends up at 50, 55, because there are changes in the German radio scene. 10 years ago, it was all very, very how to say it there was a program for an audience from 14 to 20, from 20 to 40, or from 20 to 35, from 35 to 50, and this changes a lot at the moment, and that makes radio in Germany much more interesting than it has been in 10 years ago, because we don't talk about ages anymore. We talk about characters, about personalities, about your personal development in music, for example. If you are 50 years old now, then you have been grown up with the best musicians all over the world, with the Beatles and with Stevie Wonder and all this stuff. And so, for example, if you are 35, then you got the best of all worlds musically. And so we try to change our radio programs, not as we did and as all these commercial radio stations in Germany did in the last 20 years, to say this is a target group from 14 to 25, and they are important for us because of selling commercials. Now we say, no, it is how you feel, how you live, for example. Where are your interests? What is your intellectual level? And so this has a lot to do with the music you listen to. And so we are really interested in having an audience that is interested for what public radio stands in Germany, that is interested in information, in political information, social information, economical information on the one side, and is interested in good music, and not the intellectual type on the one side 20 years ago, and normal people with their normal needs, but to fulfill our job, our duty that we have on public radio, to inform and to entertain.
Right.
While commercial radio system in Germany, first duty is to earn money. And the usual way to earn money is to play hit records. And so we decided some years ago to go a total different way, and not being a copy of commercial radio, but going back to old pride and passion, to say we are the number one for information, but we can also be a good address for excellent entertainment and excellent music.
And very educational too, you know. Speaking from my own personal opinion, after living in Hamburg for 2 years, I've been very lucky. I have good friends here in the NDR, and I consider the NDR radio to be a real treasure in the world of radio, because you have such a variety of programming. And speaking as a musician who's played in Germany, all over in Deutschland, the audience is one of the greatest audiences in the world, because the young people here, and the older people also, are very well informed about all types of music, even if their personal taste doesn't run into jazz or rock or hip-hop, but they know about the different artists, and they know about the music, and the educational system here treats music with a more like a culture form. And so your radio station offers a lot of different programs, and depending when you tune on the radio, you can hear this different types of music. So because you're the head of the program direction here at NDR2 and Enjoy, when you program your day and your night programs, do you think about who might be listening at different times in the daytime and the nighttime? What type of music do you start them off with in the morning, for instance?
We did this years ago when we worked on the wrong way. We thought, I'm talking about the middle 80s when all these commercial stations start very, very successfully, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
We thought this kind of music in the morning, this kind of music in the afternoon, and there have been a lot of guys from all over the world giving more or less good advice. These companies that travel around and telling you this works pretty well in Los Angeles and this works well in London, and we had no experiences, and there have been a lot of people and agencies who wanted to help us for a lot of money, and at the end we realized what works well in Los Angeles will never work in northern Germany. Why should it? It's a completely different situation, and so we decided to go back to the roots and to think about our qualities. What do we stand for? And as I mentioned, let me explain first shortly the main difference between American radio system and German. In Germany, every household, people, every family, every pub, everybody has to pay money, like taxes, like you have to pay taxes, and with this money, public radio is financed.
I see.
So there are some public radio stations that are allowed to broadcast commercials, but for example, we got 9 radio programs, and they're the only program where you can where you have commercials is NDR2. There is a law that says all the others aren't allowed. So the money that we get from example from companies, that is less. It is really what people living here in northern Germany pay. They pay us, and so commercial radio stations don't get this money. They really have to earn their own money,
right.
And so this explains the huge differences in what we are doing in our programs.
So you're serving the public.
Yeah, and it's written down that we have to. It's our duty to serve public with information, with culture, with education, and this may be a reason why people know a lot about music, even if they don't go to the show of a certain artist, but they know a lot. They're interested in this because it's a kind of musical education, if you want to call it that way.
Right.
And I think this is the best development for public radio, and it's the only way to survive, because otherwise people will ask, what do I pay for? What do I get for my money? And what we try to give them back is a variety of programs. And for example, NDR has beside these 8 or 9 radio programs, we got a radio philharmonie in Hanover. We've got 2 orchestras,
Right.
a symphonic orchestra and a philharmonic orchestra, one in Hamburg, one in Hanover. We've got a brilliant big band here playing jazz and all
Some
these
of the
things.
best musicians
And,
I've ever heard.
and so we also offer a lot of this kind of culture, musical culture, because they also travel around. Our symphony orchestra starts this day. Today they start to New York and play in front of the United Nations, and they will play the Carnegie Hall twice.
Wow!
So they represent this radio culture that people really are in Germany forced to pay for by law. So you have to give back a lot if people have to pay for you.
Well, it's a big responsibility. You're carrying a heavy load, and you are delivering the goods, Henry. I must say, because first of all, I'm kind of a gadget freak, and so like I've always appreciated from Germany comes the best microphones, the beginnings of recordings happened here, and NDR has a long history of recording, and I have been in the NDR radio when I've seen the old style, they call it Schnitt, we say editing, and with razor blades cutting the tape, but now we're in a very exciting crossroads where we're coming into the digital world, and young people here have always been very hip to computers and internet and iPods, and so you're delivering your programs not only over the radio with the highest quality, you have streaming and downloadable programs as well, and this is a very exciting time because your programs are available all over the world, plus you have the musical ensembles, your orchestra and your big band touring the world as representatives for the great music coming here from here. So, I think it's a fantastic thing that you're doing. Like I said, this is a real treasure in the world of radio, and to listen to your programs on the internet, how do you come there? Do you have several different websites, or do you have one main website that you go to and then you can see all the different programs?
Yeah, both. We have this main website, and then there are all the links for all our programs for TV, for literature, for I don't know what is the English word, theater on radio. Listening to for example, oh God, what is it? I know your German is very good. Hörspiel.
Hörspiel, yeah.
Hörspiel.
So
for example, there is a novel, and an actor reads,
like a Schauspiel,
and an actor reads this for radio.
Drama.
Yeah,
radio drama.
This is very successful.
This is a dying art in radio, ladies and gentlemen.
We still have this. We still have this. That's very important for our program NDR Culture. This is really not.
So you have speakers who tell stories.
Yeah, we
on the radio
every morning
well.
at 8:30 on NDR Culture. We had The Great Gatsby.
Wow, fantastic!
So and I think it was 8 episodes of The Great Gatsby.
Wow.
Performed by a brilliant German actor on radio.
Wow.
And this is an old culture, but we still really like it, and we will go on with that, because if you have all these for example CDs with actors, now this goes very well in Germany. People if they don't like to read for themselves, but they like to listen to interesting books.
Yeah.
And so this has a long history here on NDR, and we definitely will stay, because you won't have 1 million listeners for that. If it's only 30,000 or 40,000. But if this is their way to get in contact with great literature, then it's fine.
That's a great tradition that you're keeping alive on the radio and on the internet now. And so for our listeners, how can they visit your website? What's the address on the internet?
It's, what is it? www.ndr www.ndr/de.
/de for Deutschland, which is where we are live with Henry Gross. This is really a great honor. And so I want to encourage all our listeners to listen to the great diversity and variety of programming that NDR is broadcasting from here in the north in Hamburg. And we always say NDR, the best in the north. And our station is KYCY and KYOU in San Francisco, California. We call it the City by the Bay at 1550 on the AM dial, and streaming all over the world at www.KYOURadio.com. So I hope that we'll pick up a few listeners here in Deutschland. And what have you got to say to our listeners on KYOU Radio, Henry?
What is it?
KYOU.
KYOU. Stay tuned with John Hammond, because this is a great kind of culture too.